YouTube UTV 124, Facebook UTV 124, Instagram UTV 124, Twitch UTV 124, TikTok UTV_124, and Flow TV channel 124. Remember, UTV TV for you.
I can't M 92.1 and 91.1. Thank you very much for joining us. Also, if you are watching us on channel 124 on Flow, that is UTV Underground Television, appreciated very, very much as always. And of course, if you are watching us on the different social media platforms where we stream live every weekday from 11, thank you very much. If you're on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok, yeah, I think that's it. All of these, then we appreciate it very much. And you've been there as we've grown, you know, because when we just started, it was just on TV and we were expanding our reach. So we appreciate that very much. Now, as we know, we've had the conversations with people on the ground, and now we are back in studio. And that doesn't take away from all of the topics that we have to discuss. So for us, for many people, ready and waiting, pour les diviner. You know, that's coming, and for some people they'd have to wait until Monday because it's already here for some of them. Let's go into our first image where we are seeing what's going on with the advanced polling. Police officers, police, fire, and correctional officers head to the polls. It says essential service workers, including police officers, firefighters, and correctional officers, will be casting their ballots. Let's go to the next one. They'll be casting their ballots in the advanced poll today, July 23rd. Advanced polling allows for returning officers, poll clerks, and other individuals who will be working as part of the general election for the opportunity to cast their vote ahead of the rest of the elections. We have the poll day workers, the police, firemen, prison officers, and then we have persons at Tapio Hospital, OKEU Hospital, St. Lucy's Home, and Comfort Bay. Tresha Lionel, Assistant Chief Election Officer at the Electoral Department, explained for those poll workers, the poll will be taking place at the office of the returning officers in the 17 constituencies. Let's go to the next. It says here the department has been preparing for following the 2016 general elections, distribution of supplies, all of that would be done last minute. But apart from that, we are trying our best to get everything on time. And as I said, we are always prepared. Let's go to the next. It says here that the transportation of the ballots will be done by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Officers' ballots will be counted together with the rest of the electorate on Monday. So these ballots will be secured over the weekend in a vault. And the vault will be opened up on Monday, and then these ballots will be taken to the office of a returning officer. We will then go into one of the boxes in full of every agent, the presiding officer, and everybody else who was there at the time, and the ballots will be then put into these boxes. Do we have anything else? I think that is it. That's it for us. So we're seeing here what's going to be happening. They're saying it's going to be in a vault. It will not be counted until Monday. That's the procedure. And we're already getting images of police officers voting and all of that. So let's take a look at what's happening in Vieux Fort. That's what I think we're seeing there. People eager. We can zoom in. Look at that. Some munbieve. I don't know. They want to get it over and done with. So this is what we're seeing here in Vieux Fort. I also have another image of one person. Yeah, man, my G. Okay, you see, it's already red. People are already doing and, you know, exercising their right to do so, and our turn will come on Monday. And I think that is where we are at. That's where my mind is at. Over the past year that we've had the discussions in the most honest way that we can of how things are ongoing in this country, how things have been done, how people have been treated, from vendors to farmers to fishermen to Newport to the unemployed to those employed to the civil servants. Every sector of this, every corner of this country will be impacted by what will happen on Monday. I think for some people, they too are disappointed at the blatant last-ditch effort by this administration to make it seem that something is working, to make it more plausible that, you know, they're giving money not to buy your votes but for the work that you've done. I have heard and I have seen for myself in Soufrière where sidewalks are being broken just yesterday and the day before, and work is being given, money is being doled out. You hear now of, you know, what they're trying to say with the police and that everything is okay now, the Leahy law doesn't apply to us anymore, just 2 days, 1 day before police officers have to go and cast their ballot. You could see it's, and the worst thing is there is no kind of shame, I guess, continuing in the trend that we've seen over the past 6 years, but this last effort to get some votes and try to beg people, I see it. So let's take a look at what's happening in Ancillary, where vendors' booths are being broken down as well. And I wonder whether this will work. We have 2 days left until we decide what we are going to do. I have made it very, very clear where I stand on the issues. I think we've had a conversation for more than a year now on all of what is going on. We have spoken about the rum being given and everything else that is coming out. We saw that poor excuse of a manifesto launch by the United Workers' Party where more power was given and there's more division than bringing the country together. And in Ancillary and in different parts of this country right now, they have the money. Let's not deny that the United Workers' Party get the money from somewhere, must have, but to give it out to the people. But I think we should not forget all of what we've seen here. And it was Dr. Anthony, I think, who said, you know, the emperor has no clothes, and the prime minister hasn't had many parts in his life, I imagine, where people tell them that he is wrong or people stand up on principle. And we're seeing people at this time breaking away, no longer cowering in fear from the prime minister and actually standing up in their truth. And just in the same way the emperor has new clothes in that story, there was this one young person who decided to stand up in the midst of everyone who saw things but could not say anything. And Tevin Prudhomme that I had this interview with, part of his conversation, part of what he said really, really struck me. And I do hope that even as we go out and we see people's posters being taken down, we've seen a vehicle trying to run down other people. I have been the victim of that kind of aggression myself. A man will say he's going to spit on me and hit me with his cane. But that's what he's going to do. We've seen it recorded out there, the aggression. And I wonder, you know, with all of what's being said there, and Tevin is from Miku South and everything, you know, why are you not afraid? And should we be afraid with everything going on? And they have the power, they have the money, the time has come, we beat pans, we've done all what we could within the confines of the law, and now the time has come. Will you cower in fear?
Into this election, seeing certain people I know, like I told, there are certain young people I know that during their time, they came and have meetings with me before. Tevin, my minister, have to all the young girls. If I vote for 4 years, I can get a job. But the good thing is, they didn't lie to me. They told me the truth. I mean, but when election come, I'll get X amount of money for campaign, I'll take some and I'll do whatever. Now they on TV, I see they're posting the same ministers, so humble, so good. How can you sell? For me, you have to have a sense of, like, principle. How can you sell yourself knowingly and sell young people knowingly that these people are what they are? Because you get a coin, so you don't have no idea. So I don't even understand. You have no idea. Maybe because of my mentality, I believe the Prime Minister now is a man. I'll say maybe even after that he'll fight me even more. You say if I create my business and tell me I need a concession, not give it to me, you'll see, you'll fight me. So what? So what? Like I say, I tell my girlfriend all the time. Before I went to Deriso and met Chasney, the Chasney know me. One man that knew me, he's up there. He's taking care of me all my life. So it's not you that wanted to meet me. We met, it happened. You were not in control of that. When these guys believe they're in control because they have the power to buy things, to go places, yes, it's powerful. They don't get sick still. They don't, when they call you the Prime Minister, most times on that island, when you're the Prime Minister, if you don't get called and you get surprised by things, they might go on TV and make it look like, yes I knew it was happening. But do you think they don't know? He's not in control of anything. So if he wants to fight me, I know there are people that are good in St. Lucia. They are not bad people only. There are people that, if you say the truth, that they will see. Those that will tell me, Tevin, you know what, you sell out, you this, you that. I alone know my truth. Like I tell people about King, I never met King. He alone knows his timing. Nobody could tell anybody when it is to resign, when it is not to resign. Were you there? Did you know if I had bills to pay? Did you know what I needed to do at the time when I was stayed there? But the good thing is, he came out. If he didn't come out, it doesn't mean worse. You come out and you see what you have to say.
And that is exactly what's been happening, I think, and there are people coming out in the way that they can to say that, and we will be coming out. Some people come out like Tevin has just done, and I've seen other people like the former Prime Minister, Mr. Mikey Pilgrim, do the same. And not everyone has to come out on television and have it recorded and aired. Our voice will be heard on Monday, and all of us need to do it loud. It needs to be in a way that will speak clearly that what we are seeing here is not what we want for ourselves and our children. And I think in this time, when Adrian Auger came out endorsing Stephenson King, it's not just his endorsement of Stephenson King. I think when you look at when you listen to what he has said, it really does speak to what we ourselves experience, this sort of feeling that you don't belong, this feeling where you're looking and you don't have any control over what's going on in your life because people are making decisions. So for this reason, I do think that Adrian Auger's statement, his endorsement of King, more than that though, really speaks to where we are, most of us at least, are in this country.
Many people have asked for my views on the recent move by Honorable Stephenson King to run as an independent candidate in the upcoming general elections. In this politically charged environment where emotions run high, this is not a matter to comment on lightly. So I have deliberately taken time to think about what this means for candidate King, for St. Lucian voters, and for democracy in our country. First of all, let me say, I sympathize with anyone who finds it necessary to walk away from a relationship spanning over 30 years. I imagine it must have been an agonizing decision, taken after countless hours of doubt, despair, and deliberation. It cannot be an easy thing to leave a partnership, a marriage, an organization that you have sustained single-handedly at times and brought back to life on several occasions. And worse, to leave that organization in the hands of the very people who are the source of your persistent doubt and prolonged despair. So I think Stephenson King deserves credit for recognizing that he was at a political and a philosophical crossroad. I think he deserves credit for being brave enough to make this life-changing decision. Many of us would lack the courage to do that, knowing the backlash to follow. We would have stuck with what we know, however bad that is, rather than take a leap of faith, not knowing if there would be ground beneath our feet or wind beneath our wings. I remember speaking to Stephenson King when the UWP won the 2016 elections. I remember saying to him that no matter who else might ride on the UWP ticket, the St. Lucian people would look to him as senior politician and elder statesman to keep the politics of his party in its rightful place. Most people looking across the political landscape today would agree that party politics has not stayed in its rightful place. Party politics has overrun every facet of St. Lucian life, dividing families, communities, and organizations with its corrosive, corrupting poison. People you expect to be brave, people you expect to be outspoken, honest, and fair, have surrendered their souls to the party they support and which supports them. Larger principles of good governance, good government, national development, social justice, fundamental freedoms have all been sacrificed on that altar. Meanwhile, it is our lifeblood that pays the price in poverty, in ignorance, disease, and division. These are our true enemies, and we would do well to focus on them instead of allowing petty tribalism to turn us against each other, neighbors, relatives, and friends. Yes, party politics has overrun every facet of St. Lucian life. It has done so in the absence of anything else and at the expense of everything else. So here we are, without a philosophy, without a plan, without an identity as a people, avoiding conversations about what really counts: education, equity, justice, morality, and patrimony. So the larger question is not really about Stevenson King. He has taken his stand. The unanswered question is, who are we? Where do we stand? When will we say enough is enough? Do we condemn him because his action defies our expectations and causes us discomfort? Or do we applaud his bravery and demand even more bravery of him? As an independent senator in the Parliament of St. Lucia, discomfort has been my close friend for the last 5 years. It is not an easy thing to speak truth to power. It was not an easy thing to see Parliament hijacked to pass an unjust COVID-19 bill, a bill that robbed people of their constitutional freedoms, turned St. Lucia into a police state, and placed government above the law. It is not easy to see the Bar Association ignored, the SLHTA rebuked, and the Chamber of Commerce sinking deeper into a shameless silence. It should be easy to point out what is right. It should be easy to point out what is wrong and what should be done better. But unwilling to seek the national good above the party agenda, unprincipled people take such things personally. You will be attacked. You will be unfriended. You will be blocked. It was not easy, but I stood and I spoke, and I would do it again on any given day for St. Lucia and for its people. Thank you, colleague Senator Mauricio Thomas Francis, for being willing to let the party chips fall. Some things are larger than politics. This is what we have tried to say in the Senate these last 5 years. So bravo, Mr. King, for showing us that we can break the stranglehold of the two-party system. Thank you, sir, for proving that there is still room for independent thinking, for other views, other voices, other pathways to deepening our democracy. Thank you.
I think that was a powerful statement. And I do think for all of what we've seen and heard of people, different people coming together, there is a point at which people who do not have the access to media like we do or Adrian Auger does, they too need their voice. And I want, when all of this happens, when Monday comes and we're on the other side of it, that St. Lucians will make the decision. a decision where you know that you will be a priority. I feel like we have gone over the 5 years with a prime minister who doesn't care, a prime minister who insults, a prime minister who calls us jackasses, a prime minister that given MAPE to single mothers, a prime minister that doesn't care about crime. And when he did say, you know, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it because Kenny could not. Fake, empty promises, and now we have nothing but each other. And during the show and during the months we've been here, the calls that we've gotten, father called once to say that he needed the assistance, and we all came together. Houses were building. We have to come together, and the time on Monday will come again. So yokai vini, yokai bama mepwi, yokai ba o mepwi, yokai diu tout bagay kini me lan moun toazel le bomate yo loka leve. And they have to make coffee, you need to make cafe, la place. The people who work hard, the people who are silent, but they're there, their hands are dirty with hard work. They are doing honest work. They need to be seen. Ek mem si upani go tit, mem si kule upawayayay, Peter Josie, you deserve the respect in this country. That is what I want. And I feel too, if we're going to talk about our truth, that is what I want for myself and the children that I'm yet to have. The people that when I look around me, when I look around Shantytown, when I go to different places, that is what I want. I want for it to matter, that merit matters again. And people can say what they want. I had, you know, a conversation with some people. They will come to me speaking on Twitter, speaking on Facebook, saying, you know, why is always the handout that you need? Why you want that Maliway syndrome? Why you're always on step? Why you cannot find something else? But it's not about. People can say what they want, but there are policies within the St. Lucia Labour Party that has helped me and many others that I know. There is no shame when I say that STEP helped me to go to school. There is no shame when I can say my grandmother worked STEP by the side of the road and I did not care. I was not embarrassed, and I will never be. If you are doing what you're doing, you are working hard to give your children what they deserve. And I'm telling you, for the people like that, the people who know what it is to work hard and have a dream for themselves, for their children to be better, you must matter. So for people like me, and there are so many others who know what it's like, Petal, I know you know. So many people who know what it's like, and I just want that to matter again. I want that you don't have to kiss ass to get something. I want that I don't have to call somebody a boss man. I want that I don't have to check Fede, you know, hope, put a nice little top on you because maybe he'll like you enough to give you something. That is not the way governance works. It should not work that way. And come Monday, whatever happens, I think we need to be honest with ourselves, speak our truth in that ballot box, and let it speak. Let it speak for St. Lucia. Because there are people watching us. They've been looking at us and they've been laughing at us. Let us take our country back. Let's look at the next image there, because if we're going to be talking about truth, we are getting a lot of that. And here you have Lady Janice Compton out at one of the meetings in Castries North. They call it Blue Wave, where Stephenson King had his public meeting last evening. It says here, Lady Janice Compton attends public meeting of independent candidate Stephenson King. And I think that too speaks volumes if we're going to be talking about speaking truth and all that. That says a lot. And I do know that there's going to be an interview later on where she will be speaking about herself and her family and how she feels that she's been treated. But you can think too on how Janine Compton and all the others have been disrespected by a prime minister who will use the Compton name. He used Compton's name to get where he is. He said he wanted to continue the vision of Compton. What did you do to his children? How do you respect what is Flubbo now? This is not United Workers' Party. This is an organization that they're for themselves. They've changed, you know, they have no Flubbo again. They have a thumb up doing you that, where it should be something else, but I'm not doing it as a morning television show. This is where we're at. And I want better for us. I want better for you. I want people, and I'm talking and I'm saying how I feel, and I hope you let me do that. I remember when we first started the show, I was nervous. If you can't tell because my voice stayed strong, but my legs shaking under the table. I am nervous. I don't know what to say because I've never had a live in that way. But it gets easier, and I know that personally. So for those of you scared, because I was scared to speak the truth and all that, it gets easier and you get bolder. And when you are on the side of right, there is no your conscience hitting you the way it does them. Or maybe it doesn't because they've lost all sense of morality on these issues. But this is where we are. And later on, I do want to take your calls because I think really it's about you and where you are. I want you to speak to St. Lucia because there are thousands of people watching from the diaspora, watching on television, on radio, and everywhere else that we're streaming right now. So for the calls that I'm going to get today, I would want to hear your thoughts on the matter. And I think too, with the people speak in different ways. I have this show, there are other people doing what they're doing, but when you have been neglected in your areas, like what Fede has done to his people, or who are supposed to be his people in his area, what Spider has done, never taken up a stand for Grocery, let all our land go to a foreigner when we get nothing for it. We got $2 million and people saying that's a great deal. The Prime Minister sits on a plane, and that's what I'm getting. I feel like the Prime Minister talks to rich people and probably they have the island and they talking. I don't know what rich people say, but he's probably saying, oh, I have an island too, like come over on my place, they have a horse race track, yeah, you could do that, like, you know, it's a fun games thing and we just there to clean the horse shit and serve them drinks. That is not who we are. We are a people. We're supposed to be a people that are self-sufficient. For the farmers and the fishermen, you know how you've been treated. You know how you've been treated. And it cannot be right. And when you look at all of that, Sarah is a lot, because I saw Sarah from the very beginning. And when you are young and you're in Viewfort and you're just looking on at TV, you look for people that you think would be your role models. And I'm not lying to you, I thought Sarah was that for me. So imagine me now looking on when there's supposed to be some women who will enact certain legislation, people that will be for women to say, no, you cannot do this. No, Mr. Minister, you cannot be with an underage girl. No, you cannot do that. Stand up for something. Nobody's done anything. If anything, they encourage it and they perpetuate it. That I will not stand by. That I will not condone. So when she comes now in Castries Central looking for votes, what do people do her? Just 2 nights ago, it damn right.
The United Workers' Party is in the house. Make some
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
Janine chose to resign from our party, and she decided to run independent.
She has been involved in politics, and she has run against my government. The fact is, it's a fact. I just don't believe that Janine Compton is the best person suited for that job. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
At first, it sounds like a fairy tale. A man comes down from his hotel and is crowned the most powerful man on an island. But shortly after, the nightmare begins. He gives to his friends and takes from the poor. He favors foreigners and ignores the locals' needs. Then one day a disease came upon the land. What is life without a livelihood, he says. For life with no money is not living. Now thousands suffer, and more people start to die. He lies to keep his friends happy. When the people cry for help, he attacks them and plays the victim. He forces children out of their homes into plague-filled air because he has taken away their laptops, which could have kept them all home. We are living in a story as grim as any ever told. And the lesson? Vote. Send the man back to his hotel for good.
St. Lucia Electoral Department. Electoral Notice. Are you registered to vote? The St. Lucia Electoral Department would like to inform all voters that the department's website, sluelectoral.com, has now updated the voters list and polling station locations. Some of the locations have been changed. Grosile A, Sports Academy, formerly Grosile Secondary School. There will be 2 tents, open grounds opposite Harbor Club, replacing Johnson Center, Rodney Bay. Babono B, a tent on the playing field at the back of the Mothers and Fathers Hall, Gara, replacing Gara Mothers and Fathers Hall. Union Orchard Garden, new. Castries North C, St. Mary's College Auditorium, VG, new. Wildlife Conservation Center, Union Mini Zoo, Almondale, new. Carolee Human Resource Center, new. Castries East D, a tent on the open grounds of the police barracks site, Upper Bridge Street, Castries, replacing the old police barracks. Castries Central E, a tent on the open grounds between Block V and W, High Street, Castries, replacing the Methodist Parish Hall. Castries South F, a tent on the open grounds of Lattock Road, Banan, replacing Slasper Ferry Terminal. A tent on the car park, Ministry of Education Building, Goodlands, new. Cicero Secondary School, replacing the Cicero Combined School, new. Ancillary Canneries G, Tetchime Human Resource Center, new. Schwazel I, Alicia Thomas Building, next to the Hangout Bar in Jetwin, new. Miku South M, a tent on the open court, Duga, replacing the Duga Community Center. A tent on the open court, Lacouville, replacing the Lacouville Community Center. Miku North End, Miku New Infant School, located in the Miku Primary School building. Dennery South O, Ecotourism Building. Old Lakai Police Station, replacing the Lakai Daycare Center. Castries Southeast Q, a tent on the open court Lakwamingo, replacing the Lakwamingo Hess School. To vote is your constitutional right.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. Now, I am looking at, well, I was getting ready for the show, and I'm looking at what do we even speak about? What do we want to revisit? What are the issues that we've already seen occurring here? And there are so many. I didn't know what we should look at when we look at crime. That's been a dismal failure with what the Prime Minister has promised. When we look at healthcare, we know that one is a failure. Our health minister was, please let us not do this again. Messier, deliver me. My place I'll call. Do not leave Mary. Do not put Mary there again. Do you understand me, St. Lucia? Do not do that to me again. If not for you, pas favor. Supli. So we had a health minister who didn't care. We had a healthcare system that just did not work. People boasting that they're going to be done with elections. Okay, fini. And it gives me no pleasure in saying that, because this is what happens when people make these grand promises and nothing can be shown for it. When Guy Joseph will say, if they don't finish the hospital, T-way yo. And you know what? I think that's great advice, and I'm going to take you up on it. all of what we're seeing, the highest public debt, the highest debt in the entire OECS, more money taken for COVID in the entire OECS, and we have over 5,400 cases of COVID and 87 deaths, the worst in the Caribbean, and all this wasteful borrowing. And this is where we are. But in all of that, and even scandal after scandal after scandal, when I think a day I could just open up and let y'all speak, what irked me the most in all of that, and there's fading and there's so many, but when the Prime Minister could look at women, could look at mothers and tell them, you are the problem, you made a mistake, your child is a mistake, your child is a criminal, and if you continue to make children when you are too young, we can take it away from you. All of these things that were said by the Prime Minister, that one hurt me the most. That one stayed with me the most. That I will remember. But if you have forgotten, let me remind you of one of the most abhorrent things that I have heard. And we've heard a lot. We've heard the colonization out of conscience. There have been so many things. Patrimony is our credit rating. A shy bagay. But this one, and I think I speak for a lot of women out there, your children just write common insurance, children just write CXC, whatever it is you're struggling for your child. Tut multiceptive bosaki sayo. You have your children at your home. You will not look at the mother of your children to say something like that. But single mothers, and any mother, he says single mothers, but any mother that you look at, and it shows how this person looks at us, will look at people, will look at women. There is no respect for us. And that one, when I looked back and I was looking at all the clips, that one I'll remember.
Too many young girls who have a child under the age of 15, second child before they're 17, a third child before they're 18 or 19, a third child by the time they're 21. And that this is now generational. So this is not first generation, not second generation, but third generation. So who is bringing up these young guys? Who is bringing up these other young girls in these households? The mothers are just trying to survive. And that we need to be much more of a compassionate, because that problem becomes our problem. And it becomes even worse when that child moves away from the rural area and moves into the city and becomes anonymous. Their new family becomes the gang. And so going out and killing somebody or robbing somebody is to make an impression. You have young girls having kids. First one, second one, third one. We watch them, we pass by their homes. We do nothing. I mean, I think government should have an intervention program. If in fact a young woman has a child, their first child, we need to sit down with their parents and everybody else, that child has the capacity to be able to take care of the child. But how do you allow that same child, that same girl now to have a second and third child? Couldn't even take care of the first one. You pass by, that's your problem in the future. Wait a second, I'm not done yet. The third one then is jobs.
But before you go into jobs, is that an issue you should legislate? Because human rights activists will tell you that's a human rights issue.
Well, you know, Singapore deals with it in a particular way. We always want to tout how great Singapore is. But guess what? It needs to be a conversation. So the people tell you, well, then it has to be through an education program. But whatever it is, we can't continue year after year and allow the same thing to happen.
Because clearly that's not something that you can legislate.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Well, you can legislate it.
In what way?
You can say, if you want to, that if a woman has a child under the age of 18, okay, not even an adult yet, and that person goes out and has their first child and you help them, okay, and you help support that first child, and goes out and have a second child, should that person be entitled to keep that second child?
You have to fix crime from its root cause. That too many young people are growing up in households in which they don't have any leadership. Too many young people are growing up in households in which the prosperity is so bad, there is no hope. Too many young people who are living in the rural areas, in order to get a chance of prosperity, come to the city. And the only thing they find is a family in a gang. A gang in which bravado is about going out to rob somebody, or bravado is about going out to shoot somebody, or more disgustingly, bravado is about going out and raping a young woman.
Part of this system that we have of single mothers having multiple kids.
A statement you made as regards, I think, single moms or single families. I'm not too sure exactly. So can you just repeat exactly what is it that you said and what exactly did you mean? Because this is creating a lot of controversy.
Yeah, so I never spoke about single moms. Part of this system that we have of single mothers having multiple kids. So I never spoke about single moms. Single mothers having multiple kids. Young girls who are having children under the age of 18 and having children with different men, and that they are following the pattern of their mother and they're following the pattern of their grandmother. So I never spoke about single moms.
Every time I see that, I get angry. We are opening the lines now at 572-7588, and also you can call us via WhatsApp at 484-7588. You could call about anything. You can call about anything, but what I would like, though, is to hear whatever message that you have for solutions. Now is the time when all of what people have done, you've gone to the beaches, you have helped people, vendors who've been there for 30 years and they're trying to take their business away from them. You already beat pan to kote. You have done your part. And for those of you, who haven't gone out for whatever reason that may be and been silent, it is your time too. If you do not want to call, that is okay. But I would implore you, encourage you to go out and vote. Go out and vote. And many power sol, many shares souvle, because maybe the wait will be long, but go in, brace yourself, steel your nerve, and do what needs to be done. Let's take our first call. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm opening the batting, Tresha. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, and let me say again to you, Christopher, I'm not being repetitious, your excellent work that you have been able to bring through the St. Lucian citizen. But having said this, Tresha, these last 3 days will be crucial. Here you have a prime minister. I make no bones about it. He's a con man, he's a con artist. He behaved like a buffoon. And could you imagine, after desecrating everything we have in this country, he has Sahotla, the gonads to come and ask to give him another 5. What other 5? Everything this man is buying his way. And I am telling St. Lucians, it is crucial. This is somebody who regards no respect for the land, the rule of law. At that 11th hour, you see that political theatric, Tresha, emanated again with the DDP. And I do not want to be long, Tresha. I am saying it is 3 days. Let me touch a bit on the Denry South constituency, which is very dear to my heart. I am urging you, constituents of Denry South, the entire Denry South constituency, and 6 Estefan won by 64 votes. In 2011, he won by 79 votes against Albert Freddy. He defeated Mary Skelly by 64 votes. The last election, it is interesting, and the reason why I'm bringing it again, I need the St. Lucia Labour Party officials to be vigilant, to open up their eyes, because there was more than 200 ballots, and in the end, Estefan May had only won by 140 votes. And at this time, when everything has been created in my community in Denry, a stage of crime, and I will not continue saying it at the 11th hour. Denry people, there is a man that has represented you for 15 years, and he talk about the fabric of the and look at what happened underneath his house. Look at what happened. A rogue. Today, the elections after the Prime Minister put horses and stables in front of St. Jude Hospital, and today, now you coming back and ask for a vote. Ask for turf. It is very cancerous. It is very cancerous. and then he coming now and saying about Febom. Where are those guys? Those guys are ruthless. St. Lucians, I am asking for the final time. It is not a thing of yellow and red. It is your social conscience. Let us return fabric of our nation. The soul of our nation is bleeding. Please, please, St. Lucians, and we have to start with Denry South. I am asking again, I am pleading to each and everyone in the constituency of Denry South to vote Alfred Stabach Prosper. A vote for Edmund Estefan is a vote for a bombastic, a con artist, a shameless, a sort, a prime minister who for years decimated our constitution. No deputy speaker, and what he wants to come there. He said he was not going to call general elections during the time of a crisis, and here we are. Trisha, thank you. I continue to ask St. Lucians to do the right thing and vote
them out
of conscience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Always appreciated. Always appreciated. Thank you. We have another call. Let's take it. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning, Trisha. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I said to make a point today. I believe Alan Shastney, to me, I believe that guy played the whole of like football and things. So, and to me, the reason why I'm saying that today is because the first election he ran in Soufrière, he lost, and he had 5 years to think about something. He sat there and he thought about like where Labour have never won, which city they have never won, and he decided to run. I think where city have? I think Meko North or Meko South.
Yep.
So he went. He went to a seat. He know that's a guaranteed seat for him, and he ran there. So he know for sure like that seat there is always a flabo seat. And I'm saying to myself, you know, everyone else like have they know they can always scary because they know for sure the seat it might swing either one way or the other way. But he know for sure like those people in that part of the island is they will vote for him because you know that's a dedicated flabo seat. So to me, I find Alan Shastney, I mean, out of all the flabo people right there, I must say he played them out. He played them people out so well that he knows no matter what happened, that he knows that's guaranteed. And to me, I'm ashamed of the flabo people because how can you let someone like that man come and play you? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I have to say for today. But Alan Shastney, to me, he's an ass.
Caller, thank you very much. I guess as we're coming close to the day, people clearly will be saying what they feel, and that's what we're hearing and that's what we're seeing there. But for what people say is a safe seat, I don't know, because on Wednesday when we had when we edit out, there are people, some very strange things are happening. For Gail self, she is supposed to be in a safe seat. Moe Gilka does say Gilka dirty wine so she Gilka for shy by lie. I don't know, she's never done that before, but she's doing it now. She's doing it now because she doesn't feel safe, and I can tell you that. I don't know what's happening in Chastney's constituency either, but there is something strange going on. Do you have another call? Okay, good morning. Let's take it. Trisha. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, St. Lucia. Trisha, could you for Mullibitina Mai? A biobital, we for the Bade Kaimam. So Mullibital, we for. Then c'est Damla point you point a building, nature, at the hospital. So you fare hospital center. Et puis, moi, tout le monde m'a dit fait Saint-Jules dans l'hôpital méridien. Bon, tout le monde qui est allé à l'hôpital, tout le monde n'est moins bien fort. Mais ça dit ça, pas de n'est moins. Parce que n'est moins fait d'avant, c'est dame-là fait l'hôpital, ça. Right? Mais tout le c'est moi, tout fait là, Saint-Jules Hospital. Puis, à ce moment, papa allait à Céline ou Torba. L'hôpital là, c'est nous tout, là, tout le monde allé là, Kaiwe Moun, So à besoin qui m'en feeling là tout même building là. So même pas ça dit j'en veux fort qui a mené pour vote. Mais si moi devais fort, moi ils savent que ça monsieur King bien c'est dans crève chair, il commence un travail, qu'il commence un petit peu fini et c'est bougla bouclé. C'est pas ça fini. Pour ça tout seul Jean-Paul si moi devais fort North de Fort South là oui mes coups moi tout partout choisir me dégage vote pour Saint-Jude Hospital. Bon on a dit l'autre man on a vote. Mais Jean Simplici changer bien. Dat ça yo ka crier consumer associé on ka crier moi la caille moi. Right? C'était le bon parti qui mené Jean Trinidad pour transform price pour consumer department. Et notre meeting town hall et après meeting ça là Andrew Antoine venu premier président, Hubert James venu vice presidently et then deuxième président National Association. La tenue bill depuis quand ça là 2002. Les bas nous gourmets et puis gouvernement en mars 2016 gouvernement Kenny Anthony après des discussions puis toutes ces membres parlement including Senate, House of Assembly, Bar Association, Consumer Association, Chambre de commerce, ils ont tenu un meeting et ils ont passé loi ça là. Malheureusement, Kenny pour l'élection en juin en 2015, juste un jour qu'aujourd'hui, tous les Bradley dit qu'il a commencé la Consumer Association. À présent, c'est un consumer qui a un plus fait à présent. À présent, moi, ça tout ça qui a fait. Une place, l'envoyer à l'EPO, soumis en cas dans quel cadre, on peut payer plus, passer sur le cash. Tout ça qui a passé, c'est ici. Right? Là, monsieur, qui m'a juste fait fort. Moi, il y allait acheter un remède à la pharmacie, fort. Pharmacie en espagnol. Right? Il va ça là. Right? Juste toujours nous garder battre pour goumer pour ça, je n'ai pas gagné. Côté moi, right? C'est même association, la candidate d'association a besoin, c'est pour garder activiste là. Nous, j'en ai bon, mais cette fois, j'ai beaucoup fait rien pour ça. C'est moi qui a demandé tout consumer simplifié. From Alan Chasney, Peter Josie, Champagne, tout ces consommateurs. Pour sortir les bas partis, après ça finit ça, ils commencent. Parce que pour ce que Bradley qui promet tous les années, il a fait un Consumer Protection Board là en place, il peut faire ça. Donc, moi-même, matin, Philippe J. dit ça, mais comme ça, semaine prochaine venue, moi, je veux ça, right as a priority, pour nous ça commencer.
Caller, thank you. Thank you very much. I think we have to take another call. We've had another call on hold. Moi, je tout le monde n'a parlé. Merci, appeal. You have another call? Good morning. I appreciate your contribution, by the way, Mrs. Hill. Let's go, caller.
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for holding.
Let the old man talk because them people suffer injured. These are people that feeling it real bad. So let him talk. I could hold until Christopher come. I want to pick up from how you call it Phenomenon Bar, and I came there and the people down there were so nice. You know.
Yeah, we are nice people, you know. Bomo you don't give you for it.
There's a young man that's your father, but he was really nice as well.
Thank you.
But anyways, that is where that thing come from, you know. You see, when Peterson said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. But you're not hearing Shasney. Shasney say, if a person under the age of 18 years make a child, and you'll help them with the child, and she's grown up now, and she make another one, if she is allowed to keep the child, what?
Betizion.
if you have allowed her to keep that child, if she's allowed to keep that child, so the Lord give and the Lord taketh. People, anyway, I don't know that.
I never thought of it that way. But as you are here, what I would, I want you to know to the people listening right now, what is your message for them?
Yes, I want to tell everybody out there, grandmothers, mothers, fathers, brothers, uncles, as long as you'll have a family member, a sibling that has an ID card, bring them out to vote. Castries North, everybody vote for Mr. King. Castries Central, everybody vote for Richard Frederick. And all the other constituencies, everybody vote for the St. Lucia Labour Party. That is what we have. That's what we are resort to go back to. So let's see what we can do with what we have. Because if we put Alan Shasley back there, I promise you guys, the crime level is going to escalate so high. People are going to get so far. Even if not even the crime level alone, the suicide level is going to escalate so high. People are frustrated out here. Really, really frustrated. You cannot allow these people to come back in there and guy laughing and saying Frederick will sell his mother for 100,000.
How could you say by black? But your weep is a year affect you. Your poor thing. Guy to the moon, you know, if you don't eat for they will buy more. So say moon keep see you serve you oublier.
Suffer that much.
You'll not suffer that much.
Stupid people or they will not die.
And you will not think of that Monday morning ou leve, ou be, ou pas catch le ko, pas catch le you mad.
The place is open at 6:30. They say I will be there at 5. You know, and the last time they had the show on GVD TV, you know what they're talking about? How Guy Joseph met his wife, who talked first, and a bunch of
because no, don't call it nonsense, because what they're trying to do is, you know, humanize certain people. You know, when the thing get drastic, you can make Raquel just even for by, and then they'll bring Wendy to do with Guy and make him, you know, seem human. Because the things that these people doing, the people are dying in a hospital. Y'all stop it. Y'all doing audit. People can't get the results yet. People have died because of that, and it's criminal what we've allowed to go on there. You sign a letter, you pretend you don't do it, then you do it, and nobody's coming out to say anything. And for that reason, people are right when they're saying, if the St. Lucia Labour Party have to come in there, lady, mardi, de la pan temps pour gaspiller, celebrate, it's straight to work.
And the man coming in the house so cavalier. I signed up a Joa letter, but I didn't take a vehicle belonging to the government. That is a joke. You know, I plead to you guys, just bear patience, because I know a lot of us, and I'm putting myself in, a lot of us are frustrated, but this is what they want to do, frustrate us so we could resort to violence, so these guys could stay there and say, oh, there was a war, there was a riot, they couldn't have election, and they could stay there. Please, just be patient, be humble, do not take the flags down, do not tear the posters, just go and make your voices heard in the ballot.
Calm and easy. Thank you very much, Paul. I think you have another call on hold. I appreciate it. Thanks. Good morning.
Good morning, Tresha. Good morning, St. Lucia. Here trying to make the last call before the day.
I think you are the last call.
What's that?
You are the last call.
Oh, thank you. Trisha, I want to tell solutions, especially my people of Soufrière. When you hear Alpha Baptist is going to win his seat, you too want to win yours. You hear people making predictions 10-2, 8-1, 9-6, whatever they are. You don't want to be part of the losing side. And so I want every Soufriérian from every corner, from Port Saint-Jacques to Tong, from Bouton to Itangs to Port Jean-Libre, I want to that this time around, you are getting a woman of substance, a woman who is funding her very own campaign. She's not depending on no one to wait for her. A strong woman, a woman who gave me a lecture some 30 years ago about finances. A woman that is of character. to come represent you all in Soufrière. Regardless of what people will say about her, she's auntie, she's old, she stands strong, and she believes that Soufrière deserves to be counted in numbers. Soufrière, I am calling on you all. Please, do not let yourselves down. I'm not asking you all to do it for me because I'm not there. Trust me, win, lose, or draw, I will still love you all. But trust me, it won't hurt me that much. But I want Soufrière to get good representation, somebody who could take them forward, and that is Lady Emma, not Auntie Emma. I am not going to jump on the flabberg wagon calling her auntie. Lady Emma, Miss Emma, a woman her parents gave to Soufrière. We had one of the best head princes in her sister who passed away. Today, she's coming on to hold on and carry that torch for her sister in continuing the work that Mrs. Stephanie did. Lady Emma for Soufrière. St. Lucia, please do like the Americans did. Sun, rain, snow, shine, fade, stand on the line. Do not let anybody deceive you. You are going there with a purpose, and you are executing a right with a vengeance to get the flambeaus out.
Caller, thank you so very much.
That latest revelation this morning about the fishermen.
I know about the fishermen, yeah. We don't have as much time. Caller, thank you so much. We are very, very over time. I appreciate your contribution. It's great advice that you are giving, and yet still 2 days before there's another scandal, privatization of the fishing industry, more things again giving to their friends. Messier, I don't think we can take it anymore. Please let us stop this. But even as we're near the end, but I do think that as we get more people coming out and speaking their truth, we have yet another person who hasn't spoken as of late, and that's why I think it's very important to hear what Sir Julian Hunt has to say on everything that has been going on and where we can find ourselves after elections and what, his whole feeling about everything. I think it is very important right now to hear someone who has been right there in the politics and looking on now, making some predictions, speaking to us and giving us a message right before the day. With about 3 days until elections, how are you feeling?
I feel confident that the St. Lucia Labour Party is going to pull it off. I've followed their progress on television. I was particularly impressed with the presentation of the manifesto, and I have every confidence that they will go on to win the next election come Monday under the leadership of Philip J. Pear, and of course the team that he has, which is very impressive, including Senior Minister Kennedy Anthony. So I assume that all is well, and let us keep our fingers crossed and pray that the result that I would wish to see comes to fruition.
With everything else that's been happening, it doesn't seem to be the normal, two-party thing that we're seeing. What are your thoughts to the system of government, and is it time for reform?
I think we should have had reform a long time ago, and I'm going to hold the St. Lucia Labour Party to keep its promise to review the Constitution. I am particularly pleased that a third party has entered the race. I can recall when I was personally involved in one of those called SLAM, the St. Lucia Labour Action Movement, and I wish them very well, because the fact about it is that groups of persons or individuals who have views on how their country should be run should have a say in what is taking place. And I'm one of those who believes that proportional representation later in the day is what we are looking for, so that a group like the Green Party, if it can muster a sufficient number, a sufficient percentage of votes, would have a seat in Parliament. That's what we're talking about, representative politics. And as many persons that are interested should be given an opportunity. If they do not want any of the parties that are on the scene to form their own party, if it comes to that, and to air their views and try to convince people that they should be in Parliament.
What now are your thoughts on King and what he has done?
Well, I think King was very brave. For someone who's been in the party for 40 years, he has accumulated a following within the party structure. And there are people on both sides of the fence, and here I talk about Labour and UWP, who are diehards. Remember that I went through a process not dissimilar to his, where I left the Labour Party and ran independent. I wish him, that Stevenson King, much better luck than I had when I ran. But I think it is very courageous on his part, and he should be complimented on taking a firm stand on what he thinks are wrong within his party, and if he's not given a hearing, to leave and do what he has to do. Well, I find myself in his constituency, and my wife and I are weighing our options. We don't have many, but I think where we vote is going to be obvious.
With the people that are coming out now and endorsing Stevenson King, what do you think that says about our society? Many people thought, you would need a party to get by, but now you're seeing independent senators coming out, former Prime Minister Mikey Pilgrim, and I'm hearing too that Lady Janice Compton will be doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, we have grown up where people are no longer afraid to speak their minds and to take a stand where they think it's necessary. I wish more of this, even with the previous administration, with the Chasney administration. I think in addition to somebody like Richard Frederick, a lot more people, a lot more organizations like the Chamber of Commerce and various civil organizations should speak out against what they think is not going right.
How would you describe the Chasney administration?
I would give him an F. I don't think that, I think I'm particularly worried, very worried at the extent of debt that we have accumulated. Because I think it leaves when the change comes, I think it leaves Philip here and the St. Lucia Labour Party very little room to maneuver because of the extent of debt to GDP and what monies we have to play with to deal with the programs that they are espousing. I think the Labour Party is going to have a problem sorting out the financial mess that I know we are in. In fact, I think we are a perfect candidate for the IMF, who have probably not moved in because we are in an election mode. But all the signs point to our having to call in the IMF to assist. And I know that the St. Lucia Labour Party would prefer not to do that. I know that Kenny Anthony would not. I have a feeling that Philip Pierre will not. But the debt situation is worrisome, and I think it is the biggest problem that we have facing us. This is why I linked the question of, in terms of prioritizing the St. Lucia Labour Party's program, I would put the economy as number one, our social infrastructure number two, and the review of the Constitution as number three. I think we have to approach those three things very seriously, and it's going to take resolve on the part of the St. Lucia Labour Party government to deal with these three things in the coming years. I think we have all experienced what has gone on in the last 5 years, and the supporters of this United Workers' Party have an opportunity to do exactly what the Labour Party people did in 1982 election, and that is to vote the St. Lucia Labour Party into office, because their own party had not lived up to their expectations. And I think we are mature enough as a people to look at the situation objectively and decide that, look, what went on cannot go on for another 5 years. If what is being proposed is anywhere near what went on in the last 5 years, we will be bankrupt. And St. Lucia cannot afford, if we have an opportunity to correct it, which is the election that is coming on Monday, we should take this opportunity and give Philip J. Pierre and the St. Lucia Labour Party a chance to take this country back, put this country back on its feet.
I do think that is great advice, and it's a great way to end. I want to say to you, I mean, this is it. This is it. We're going in there over the weekend into Monday, doing what we have to do as a country. I ask you to remember all of what we've spoken about, all of what we know. No, you don't have to remember. You're living it. You know the feeling. You know it. So when the time comes, you will speak your loudest. My parting words to you will have to be, keep your head up, okay? Do it with grace. We do this with love, love for ourselves, love for our country, love for those around us. Keep your head up, and I will see you on the other side of whatever happens, I'll be there, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Go safe, go brave. I'll see you then.
Striving for better, and we're not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Don't bread in the morning. And if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain, it will be over. Over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Now go bow cause the color of my skin. Now go cheat because me want to win. Now see the crown and still no know the king. Now see blessing and no know blessing. Cause if you lose your